Yo, yo, yo. What up, my peoples? What's going on, man? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's weekend's starting well. Man, we got video gaming news coming up for June 15th. And it'll probably be Ghost of Tsushima, maybe some X Defiant, maybe other way around. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Never can quite tell whenever the weekend hits, you know? What's up, Davey? How you doing, buddy? What's going on? You working today, dude? Probably a stupid question, huh? Sore from working. Oh, you got the moving going on. Oh, Jesus. I forgot about that, dude. How's all that moving along, man? Heck no, he said. Yo, are you totally done? Are you finished moving, man? You get it all taken care of? You're at the new place, yeah, so probably just like unpacking and stuff, right? Which is still not fun, but at least half the battle's over, I guess, if that's the case. Yeah. Right, yeah. Alright, man. Well, congrats on the move. That can wait, yeah. yeah. Need a little bit of some relaxed time. Yeah, I'm willing to bet, dude. Yeah, I can understand that. Moving is quite exhausting. No doubt about it, man. But I hope that the move was good. Anyway, I hope it's a you know, good for you situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So hopefully the unpacking goes well as you get it taken care of, man. Oh, yeah? Nice, dude. Congrats. Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Yeah. Cool, man. All right. Good. Love to hear it, brother. All right. You guys ready to do the deed, man? And get in here and do some video gaming news, and then we'll play some games. Let's go, man. Let's get into it. Yacht Club Games reveals new Shovel Knight updates, including what? A brand new game. Let's go. Cool. And Seattle indie game studio Galvanic Games is shutting down. Oh, man. There's another one. Yeah, we talked about Lollipop Chainsaw Repop yesterday. I'm not going to cover that again. But if you didn't catch yesterday's news segment, then it launches September 25th. All right? It's just a remaster. It's not a remake or anything. It's a remaster of the original Lollipop Chainsaw game. And it looks entertaining. And it looks pretty good as a remaster. New start for you, pretty much. Man, that's great, dude. Sometimes it's nice to just have, you know what I mean, a bit of some fresh vibes when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know? I hope it's, you know, all for the best, dude. For reals. I do. What? What? This is like 9 out of 10 first articles are the same exact title out of different outlets. Gotta love that. Yeah, I promoted this yesterday. There is a buy one, get one 50% off deal right now on Amazon. It's also happening at Target. I think it's also running at Best Buy because that's the way this works, right? Anytime one of these major retailers starts doing a sell, one of the other ones will do a very similar, if not the same exact sell. What you do need to know is that if you're in the market for pre-ordering the new Call of Duty game that'll be out in October, Black Ops 6, it is part of Target's lineup of games. I don't know if it is on Amazon or Best Buy, but if you're going to buy it anyways, potentially getting it at Target. If you have Targets, obviously, in your region, you can buy it and get another game 50% off that's of equal or lesser value, you know. So I've been putting those deals in our video gaming deals channel of our Discord, and we've been covering this stuff. But you know, obviously, if you're interested, either find the links on what we've covered in the past couple of days in the Discord, or just do a quick Google search, you'll find them. Claimed images of early Spider-Man 3 build appear online. Interesting. Ooh, Sea of Thieves player count dropping fast on PS5. Take a look at this. Path of Exile 2 gets better every time I play it. Dude, that's music to my ears. Music to my ears, man. I cannot wait for Path of Exile 2. Yep. We will definitely be playing this here in the channel, along with any community members that want to play. Apparently there was a canceled Cyberpunk DLC where some files have appeared online. I'm not going to cover it. It's whatever. It was canceled. It's not going to happen. So, but I think fans of this series in particular are, you know, Cyberpunk of this game will have some interest in it. But beyond that, it's probably not really worth covering. Yeah, we got that up. DayZ down. Apparently, DayZ's having some server issues. If you are not aware, if you're a DayZ player, be careful there. Server issues. Might be having some issues playing the game right now. Dragon Age, the Velgar director says you can play this game entirely offline. It's becoming more and more of a rarity nowadays, isn't it? Interesting. Monster Hunter Stories Remastered release trailer, huh? We'll take a quick peek. Oh no. Minecraft players outraged as Microsoft deletes accounts that weren't transitioned. This never, ever, ever feels good. It never feels good. As much of, like, I mean, I'll tell you, I've even, you know, admitted to the fact that one of the more recent experiences for me on this front that felt really bad was Destiny 2. When Destiny 2 did this, I lost all of my account information. And I bought that game. That game didn't used to be free. So Destiny 2 out the gate was not free. I bought the deluxe edition. I'm talking like, I think $80. And this was back when the games were still like 60 AAA price, right? I bought it for like 80 or 90. So it was season pass. The amount of DLC was supposed to come with it, stuff like that. And then they switched over from Blizzard's platform. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I was just very busy at the time. They were giving emails out. I know. Emails about needing to transition and stuff. And I didn't get mine done for one reason or another. And, you know, it still feels bad. Again, I mean, and I know that it was in large part my fault. But ultimately, I also feel that when companies are in a position of doing stuff like this, you know, I know to a large extent what it does, it gives them an excuse to purge. It gives them an excuse to purge accounts, and that's just good for them because it's less data they have to track and store and stuff like that. But ultimately, if there's going to be a situation like this, I personally feel, where servers are being switched, platforms are being switched to host a game, whatever, the company, the developer behind the game, needs to do the very best they can to make sure all the accounts are transitioned over no matter what. Because this never feels good. We'll talk about it though. It's not always that easy. I get it. It's not always that easy. But it always will feel bad. Because usually when it happens, you've got a very limited amount of time to get it done, and not everybody is on track with being able to focus on taking care of that when they get those kinds of notifications with everything else going on in their life. You know what I mean? And it just happens. Sometimes that kind of stuff slips through the cracks, like it did with me with the Bungie stuff, man, and Destiny 2. It happens. It does. I have talked so much about Bloodborne and why it won't be on PC, at least not right now. It doesn't matter if Miyazaki knows that everybody wants it on PC. Sony owns it. Sony owns the licensing behind Bloodborne, so it doesn't matter. And it's just too unique of a title. I've got YouTube videos on our YouTube channel talking about how, I mean, for the past probably year to year and a half, I've been predicting that Bloodborne will be probably utilized by Sony in the same fashion as Demon's Souls was. So I think what you should expect is Bloodborne in some capacity to come back around, whether it be a remake or even a next iteration for the Bloodborne series, something to that effect, on the next PlayStation console. But you won't see it on PC. It's too unique. It's too unique. It draws in too many gamers, and it's a huge, huge pull for Sony to be able to use that to make people buy their hardware. There's no way it'll be on PC. Not right now. Maybe later at some point, but not right now. What's up, Soup? You gotta do, dog. You gotta flip and shrug those haters off. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah. Look, man. I know that we kind of tease each other a lot, right? But that's the relationship we have, and you know that I care about you, right? So, at the core of what it is, you know I care about you, and we have a relationship where we kind of tease each other and stuff because it's funny and it's fun, and you know, but. You know, that's why I was telling you yesterday that you can't take that stuff to heart, and you've got to just, people that aren't going to treat you the right way or you know, going to make you feel less about yourself or anything on that front don't deserve to have you as, you know, part of their life in any capacity, right? So ultimately, what I think people have to really understand is that it's about finding people that truly appreciate and deserve to have, you know, your companionship and your friendship, and those are the people you want to be around. You want to be around the people that are going to lift you up. You don't want to be around the people that are going to, you know, drag you down. Yeah. So. Again, I know that here in the channel and stuff, we kind of tease each other a lot. We have some fun and everything, but ultimately, man, I appreciate you very much, and that's what it's about, dude. And that's what this community is about, right? So, in life, you definitely want to be surrounded by people that are going to lift you up and not make you feel bad about yourself, you know. So, I'm glad you're coming to that realization a little bit more. You really can't dwell on the notions of because look, this is the thing. People that do that kind of stuff to other people are really usually just pushing out their insecurities onto other people and stuff like that. They're bullies, really, is what they are. Okay, and for various reasons, you know. Of just, it could be things they've had to deal with themselves, or it could be their own insecurities or anything like that. Then they like to try and push those notions they feel themselves onto other people and make other people feel smaller, you know, by proxy, and doing that kind of stuff. And so, you know, if people are going to be like that, you just have to understand and I think really grasp the concept of pushing forward with the understanding that those kinds of people don't deserve to have you as any part of their life, and you're better off without. You really are. Bro, I knew it was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. Valorant console players are being banned for using keyboard and mouse. Oh, bro, that's so funny, dude. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will have first-person scenes and alternate stories. Cool. My son's going to be so jacked. Oh my god. I have been waiting for Arcane Season 2 for so long. For so long. Dude, when did Arcane Season 1 come out? 2021? Yes. November 6th through November 20th of 2021. Arcane came out. This is an amazing show. Whether or not, and this is obviously my own personal opinion, but I've had a lot of other people I know that have watched this show and feel the same way. Whether or not you give a hot flying crap about League of Legends in any capacity, this show is good. You don't even need to have any kind of knowledge about League of Legends or anything like that to just be able to appreciate how good this show is. All the way around. Very good writing, amazing animation, great music. It's just incredibly entertaining to watch. And it's been 3 years, dude, that we've been waiting for another season of this to come. I am so excited, dude. I think it's actually coming out around the November time frame, which is what I heard last time that we were looking into this. It is so good, dude. And I cannot wait to watch it. So especially if you're a League of Legends fan and you haven't watched this show, you need to check it out. But even if you're not, it's phenomenal. Arcane 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bring it, dude. If they're all of the same quality as the first season, we need all of it. AC Affinity, now known as Animus Hub, could launch with shadows. Okay. We've been tracking this whole thing for a bit. We'll go one more page, why not? I'm feeling a little bit, rambunctious this morning. We'll go 6 pages instead of 5. Looks like Gears of War E-Day is aiming to be out next year. We need to see some gameplay pretty soon then. What's this? Oh. Yeah. I won't watch that. Thanks though, dude. Yeah. We saw a lot already. That's why I won't watch it. We already saw a lot. But I do appreciate it. And for anybody else that's hanging out that wants to take a look, that is actually more gameplay of Assassin's Creed Shadows right there. Thanks, Super. I appreciate it, buddy. We saw a ton extended gameplay look during the Ubisoft showcase, stuff like that. And so I'm not gonna watch more of it. I don't need to see more of it, to be honest with you. I appreciate it though, buddy. Starfield gets review bombed again as Bethesda upsets more gamers. Let's see what this is about. We've already talked about this, these layoffs with Sumo Group. Oh, excuse me. Who's supposed to be in the Until Dawn movie here? They've already... Who are we talking about? Ella Rubin, Michael Camino. I don't even know these people, dude. Ji Young Yu and Odessa Azion. I don't even know those people. But congrats on getting cast. Good for them. Helldivers 2 story mode not happening. Sorry, bro. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics remasters are reportedly real. We touched on this yesterday, so I'm not going to dive into that. But that is exciting for me. Final Fantasy Tactics was just such a banger, dude, back in the day. Dude, we're talking PS1 days, right? Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That game was so good, dude. Alright, let's dive into these. Starfield gets review bombed as Bethesda upsets more gamers. But it just works. Hot coward. Look at this screenshot, bro. Bruh. And this definitely does give Bethesda vibes, you know? Yeah. I don't think there's any doubting that one. Yeah, there's Bethesda vibes in that for sure. Starfield seems to be intent on slipping as far down the charts as possible. As time goes on, last year Starfield finally hit the market after years of development and hype from Bethesda Game Studios, but it quickly became apparent that it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. It was found by many to be a lackluster title that felt rather barren, hampered by archaic issues that made it seem outdated and stale. Today, things still haven't improved for Starfield. Players are getting tired of waiting for a release date for the game's first major expansion and is withered to nothing on streaming and content creation platforms. And now, thanks to short-sighted decisions by Bethesda, it's being review bombed on Steam. That old chestnut, that's right. Every time a developer makes a decision the community doesn't like, the game in question will be review bombed on Steam. Almost every time. Almost every time. I'll give you situations where this might not necessarily happen or won't happen to the as great of an extent. Is when you have companies that are viewed as very fan friendly. And they maybe have even come out and given a precursor as to what was coming and why it needed to be done or something like that. They've tried to be proactive in the situation because they knew there would be negative ramifications if they didn't do that. A lot of... it seems like a lot of publishers and developers are not forward thinking enough on that front, in my opinion, so they get themselves in this kind of position, right? But there are the rare occasion where a publisher or developer will get out in front of something and just do good on communicating with the fan base, consumer base, that maybe, you know, there was something that unfortunately couldn't be avoided, things that needed to be done and had to be done for them on a, you know, business front or whatever, or, you know, it's something that had to be done in the game, you know, that just, and this is why they explain it. So on the back end, they don't get necessarily even closely, remotely as poorly reviewed or review bombed or anything like that as they would have without doing that kind of thing. But most of them don't do that, right? Starfield is the latest title to face the wrath of gamers, but it's for a valid reason. Recently, Bethesda Game Studios opened up official modding tools on Starfield, finally, and introduced elements like the Creation Club, which has previously serviced on Fallout 4 and Skyrim. However, in typical BGS fashion, some of the mods introduced as part of the platform update were tucked neatly behind a paywall. Oh my god. Which naturally angered fans worldwide, thus leading to review bombing. Nice. Oh yeah, boy. God dang. Yeah. They had to have been able to see this coming. Come on, man. Not a new concept, but it's new for Starfield, and that's all that matters. Recently, Bethesda showed off a trailer for Starfield Shattered Space expansion, which was revealed long before the game was released, but it still doesn't have a launch date. Players worldwide are growing tired of Starfield and moving on to other titles, leaving Starfield to shrivel into a shell of its former self, not even 1 year after launch. I have been calling it Starfeld for a long time because it does seem very much like a failure. If you look at it in what I think Bethesda was trying to market this game to be, when they were trying to hype this up to be something, you know, larger or more, you know, I guess unique or different than anything they've ever done. It really wasn't, you know. It's a modernized Bethesda recipe in, you know, slapped with a space theme on it. It is really what it is. And now, I don't think the game is bad, but it also wasn't mind-blowing. And I think that's what they were trying to give a lot of people the impression of, was this was going to be something incredibly unique. and something nobody had ever seen from, outside of something anybody had ever seen from Bethesda, or it was, and it's not even close to that. The wild thing here is that you've got a lot of very prominent people in the modding community that came out, we're talking couple to a few months after the game even released, and went, we don't even want to be a part of this game in a modding capacity moving forward. It's that bad. Like, from their standpoint about what the game entails and content-wise holds, as opposed to other games that are, even previous Bethesda games like Skyrim or, the Fallout games, they don't want to have anything to do with this. And now they come out and they've got this whole charging for it, But, yeah, okay. So, Starfield getting slammed. Could have seen that one coming with what they did with the modding tools and stuff. Yeah. If anything, what they should have done there was, in my opinion, they need to be doing anything they can to get the player base up on that game for as prominent of a title for Xbox as it's supposed to be. So probably giving everybody free range of being able to just mod that game without having to pay for anything on the front of what Bethesda provides was a better option. Getting people to just get into the game, play the game, ramp up mods that make the game more fun and entertaining, and add content to it and stuff like that. That's where they would have won at. But instead, they want to make people pay for it, which is just going to exacerbate an issue already of people not wanting to be in that game. Where's PS5 Pro? It's coming, bro. It's coming. Don't you worry your pretty little head. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it, bro. AC Infinity, now known as Animus Hub, could launch with Assassin's Creed Shadows. In a recent interview, it was revealed that Assassin's Creed Infinity, the core ecosystem that was planned by Ubi to act as the beating heart of the AC series, has been renamed. It's now known as the Animus Hub, but for all intents and purposes, it'll do the exact same thing, just under a new name. Acting as the central nervous system for all things Assassin's Creed, much in the way that Call of Duty HQ is a center point for launching titles these days. Sudden changes. In a recent interview with GameFile, Ubisoft's VP executive producer Alexis Cote confirmed to Stephen Titio that the name change had taken effect, but it wasn't confirmed when the platform will come into play. However, it was suggested that it'll land in time for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the dual protagonist title set in feudal Japan that's set to be released on November 15th. Assassin's Creed Shadows was revealed with a gameplay breakdown earlier this week in the Ubisoft Forward, and it looks pretty fantastic to most people. I saw some things in there that looked a little bit wonky, but we'll see. The character split is heavily evident, with one side behind commanded by the hulking samurai Yasuki. That's the one thing that I really saw that was concerning for me, was the samurai combat on two fronts. It looked kind of chunky, a little bit clunky, if you will, the combat did, as well as it looked like it was ripped heavily, a large part of it ripped straight out of Ghost of Tsushima, which was weird for me. And again, I don't know if Ghost of Tsushima took it from somebody else or something like that, but I have never seen something comparable to what, you know what I mean, I guess blatantly copy-wise. Obviously, there's a lot of similarities in many Melee, kinds of combat games and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I was seeing on the front of the straight-up face-to-face combat especially with the samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, was just looked absolutely straight up copied out of Ghost of Tsushima. From unblockable, right? You get an identifier on the enemy's weapon whenever you've got an unblockable incoming, to an unblockable but parryable. You know, I mean, dude, it's the same exact thing, same exact. As well as a lot of the movesets that I was seeing from the enemies looked almost identical. It was weird, but I don't know. We'll see. And you know, those are the two things that really the only two things. I mean, I thought the stealth looked very good. I think that this is an amazing setting for an Assassin's Creed game, and I think it's going to do very well for them. I do. I hope that it, content-wise and performance-wise, it comes out to meet expectations of consumers, because that's what the consumers deserve. It's getting a lot of hype built up around it. People are excited about it, and I hope that Ubisoft is going to do right by the consumers and the fan base, and giving them something very polished and with great content. I really do. It's looking pretty good. I'll give them that. With a dynamic weather system that includes seasons, a massive open world, multiple approaches to missions, and more movement and stealth mechanics than ever before, AC Shadows should be a memorable enough title. It has been a long time coming too. While 2023's Mirage was a great stopgap, it didn't have that much meat on its bones. That's where Shadows will step up. Set to release on PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S on November 15th. And potentially launching alongside the Animus Hub. We will see. We will see. Cannot decide if I'm more tired than hungry or hungry than tired. You know what? I think what you should probably do is just eat and then take a nap. And then probably wake up and eat some more. And then if you get tired again, just take another nap, you know? Seattle indie game studio Galvanic Games is shutting down, unfortunately. Galvanic Games, the independent Seattle-based developer behind games such as Some Distant Memory, Rapture, Rejects, and last fall's Wizard with a Gun, is closing its doors. Studio head and founder Patrick Morgan announced the shutdown in a statement Friday. Despite the promising start of Wizard with a Gun, sales are not strong enough to sustain our studio, Morgan wrote. The last year has been particularly tough for games. He continued, while we had numerous encouraging conversations at the DICE Summit and the Game Developers Conference, the process of signing new projects takes longer than the runway we had left. A bit of unfortunate news. 10 employees are expected to lose their jobs in the closure. Galvanic Games has put up a thread on LinkedIn to celebrate their contributions and help affected workers secure new jobs. Morgan founded Galvanic Games in 2015. Wizard with a Gun might have been its highest profile game to date, made through a collaboration with indie publisher Devolver Digital. Yep. It looked pretty good. It also toured the indie circuit in 2019 with its story exploration game Some Distant Memory, and collaborated with Seattle's Tiny Build and the authors of the webcomic Cyanide and Happiness to create the now defunct satirical battle royale Rapture Rejects. Galvanic's shutdown adds to a long list of layoffs that have plagued the video gaming industry for the last year and a half. More than 10,000 people, developers, have lost their jobs since January, already topping the previous record cuts from all of last year. I've been noting this. Yep, we are not even halfway done with the year yet, and we're already bypassing what everybody found to be an astronomical amount of layoffs last year at 10,500. We're beyond that now. We're quickly approaching 11,000 layoffs in the industry at this point right now, and we're not even halfway through this year, and we've eclipsed the total number of layoffs that we had in the entirety of last year. It's crazy. There you go, Davey. Yo, eat some extra for me, brother. We'll see you in a little bit, man. Be safe, okay? The dismissals aren't coming from any one source, but factors are theorized to include the rising cost of modern AAA game development, dramatic slowdown in available VC investment, a delayed correction after the post-pandemic gaming boom of 2021, consistently busy release schedule, which may have saturated the market, and the long-term impacts of the industry's global embrace of games as a service. Feels bad, man. Claimed images of early Spider-Man 3 build appear online. Let's be very clear here. So, Insomniac just released Spider-Man 2. We know that they're heavily invested right now in Wolverine, right? So if you are excuse me, going to take this as some kind of development along the lines of Spider-Man 3 is on its way, it's not. It's early stuff right now for Spider-Man 3, and we probably won't see it for years because of everything else that Insomniac has right now that they're focused on, right? So, but we'll take a look here. In October of last year, Spider-Man 2 released on PS5. Yeah. And there was a big leak that occurred for Insomniac, yes, revealing a sizable portion of the studio's roadmap, developing projects, cut content, and much more. Images started appearing online recently of an early Spider-Man 3 build, and the claim is that they're leftover images from the original leaks that surfaced in December. I mean, you have to believe that they're going to make a Spider-Man 3, right? Yeah, it seems obvious that a third Spider-Man game will surface. Fans are still awaiting any major expansions for the second game that was released a little more than 7 months ago. String of images. Let's see if we can take a look at these. Apart from a very early Spider-Man 3 build have been in the Insomniac December leak in Brazil's behind the Spider-Man 2 PC port now have it running. Okay. They don't show much, yeah, a little rough around the edges to be expected. Appear to reveal Silk as a core playable character in the game. Yeah, we're taking these images with a pinch of salt here, guys, as always. The Insomniac leaks revealed a lot of content, a lot of information, but that doesn't mean that anything claimed to be linked with it is immediately real. That's absolutely correct. Grain of salt here, but it's interesting, yeah. Yeah, Soup, yeah. Now, look, I mean, here's the other thing, though. Like, so the stuff that leaked for them, right? The other thing that people have to always take into consideration here. Even leaked content like that, whenever you're talking about, and we looked at it, right? I mean, if anybody was around, we took a look at a lot of that leaked stuff that came out from Insomniac, and part of it was roadmap, part of it was the resource allocation for them regarding time frame and all the projects they were planning on working on, but anything for a company like this in this industry is going to be very fluid and very dynamic. And so roadmaps are great, right? Roadmaps are great. Those kinds of projecting on how to allocate, but it's always going to be more of a fluid process where those are potentially going to change dependent upon how projects are evolving, the business is moving forward on different fronts, things like that, right? So it's always, even with that kind of information being leaked to us, it gives us something baseline to go off of. But the fact of the matter is, with these businesses, those kinds of things are also changing quite fluidly because of so many different factors. So we never quite know how much of that information and where they're at with it, as opposed to how much of it has changed to an extent because of just a multitude of factors in regards to where they're at with it now, right? So I think that's one of those things that people have to understand about a lot of that leaked information as well. Yeah. Sea of Thieves player count dropping fast on PlayStation 5. In a recent report, it was claimed that 58% of Sea of Thieves PS5 player base decided to make port and retire from sailing the ocean less than a month after the game was released on the platform. This news comes just days after it was revealed that Sea of Thieves was the most downloaded game on PlayStation in North America and Europe through May. It was the most pre-ordered game after Rebirth came out. And then the most downloaded game last month. Is this high-rated live service title already at risk of failing after appearing on an all-new platform? No, I don't think so. Man, my throat's so jacked today. This is what I'll tell you. This is about the way it goes for any title, especially when it, it's. A lot of people were anticipating it. It's people played it for like a month, and there's gonna be a large chunk of people, doesn't matter what game it is, that they get a little bit tired of playing the same thing for a month, and they go, well, I'm gonna play something else for a little bit. And a lot of them have this same notion at the same time. So you see a big chunk of player base leave games, live service games at the same time. To do stuff like that. I don't think it's that concerning. It's always like this. So anytime a game releases, it's a big, huge peak when it's really good, and then you'll have a pretty sharp decline on the back end of that peak before it levels out. And you really truly see where it's going to kind of have a consistent player base number for the foreseeable future, right? In a report written by True Trophies using data from Game Insights, it was suggested a whopping 58% of all Sea of Thieves players migrated away from the title within 1 month. Recognized that the game had a strong start on the platform, but that was likely on account of it being the first time Sea of Thieves serviced on PlayStation since being released in 2018. Yeah, that's exactly why. It was the latest in a modest line of Xbox exclusive games to be ported to the PlayStation platforms, joining the likes of Grounded and Pentiment. There's a natural life cycle that plays out with every game, and a drop is expected, but almost 60% of players evacuating a live service game in just a couple of weeks is fairly drastic. I agree. That's a large chunk. Sea of Thieves is getting on in years, but it continues to be updated with regular cadence that keeps a core community connected and appreciative of the game. Several major changes just unravel within the game's ecosystem, and there are no indications that Rare, the game's developer, will be done with it anytime soon. Well, we'll see how this trends. We'll see if this continues going this way, or if the player base kind of levels out. We'll see. Dragon Age the Veilguard director says you can play this game entirely offline, which is amazing. Let me say this. And there won't be any microtransactions or battle passes. Excuse me, isn't this an EA game? Consider me surprised. If this is true, I'm surprised. Alert, a really good dedicated single-player game might be on the way. Yeah, interesting. So, it's fairly rare nowadays that you get a game that is even a single player doesn't necessitate an online presence, as well as especially not having any kind of microtransactions or battle passes or anything in the game too. It's becoming more and more prevalent, and it's unfortunate. It's like a game like Dragon's Dogma 2. There never should have been any microtransactions in that game ever. Absolutely not. There was completely unnecessary, especially on the way that Capcom did it. That was the worst part about it. If they wanted to throw in some cosmetics or something like that, you know, to give people the option to support them more for the amount of enjoyment they're getting out of that content. I'm okay with that, as long as it doesn't affect gameplay. They built gameplay around transactions, and that's gross. So it's refreshing to hear this, and I'll be quite honest, very, very surprising to hear this coming out of BioWare and EA. Let's see what we got. What you need to know. Dragon Age is an upcoming action-adventure role-playing title created by BioWare. BioWare is also the creators of the award-winning franchise Mass Effect. In a Q&A session on their Discord, BioWare developers answered a lengthy list of questions from their community. During the session, they revealed there will be no online requirement, no microtransactions, and no battle passes. This is going to be a lengthier read of what went down in that Discord discussion and Q&A session. So if you want to read all that, by all means, but we got the gist of it right there, so I'm gonna just hand it off to you. That's fantastic to hear. I hope that this is true. I really do. Excuse me. Okay, let's pull up YouTube. All right, let's watch this.
The time has come to share with you news that's bleak but sadly true. I'm talking of the fell Black Blight, a spreading darkness, endless nights.
The environment's changing and the monster population's taken a nosedive.
Blackgrass, rampaging monsters. What do you know of this corruption?
This so-called black mist is actually the Black Blight. Then, there'll most likely be a blighted monster nearby too.
Looks like this whole village has been blighted!
Do we know what the blight is or why it's eating away at the world? No. But we know that it attacked our home. And that it must be destroyed.
I don't need closed captions in there, do I?
The kinship stone commands the might to purify this foul Black Blight.
And we're gonna stop the Black Blight!
We can befriend monsters easy enough. But other humans are a different story.
Hunters and riders.
Like, they both respect and live with monsters. They're the same that way.
I've been waiting my whole life for this. I want to help my friends. Everyone.
But right now, evil is growing in power.
Yes, evil.
And soon, this whole world shall be devoured.
Fantastic.
Yeah! We got claws for concern! Wrath is blighted!
You can use it to stop the blight.
But I'm curious about this kinship with monsters stuff. So I was hoping you could show everyone what it means to be a rider.
Monster Hunter Stories. There you go. June 14th. It's out, baby. It's out. Switch, PS4, and Steam. There you go. Cool. There you go. We'll discuss this a little bit. So, Minecraft players are outraged as Microsoft deletes accounts that weren't transitioned. Cutoff date had been extended to September of 2023. Microsoft has fueled outrage among many gamers by deleting their old Mojang Microsoft accounts. The deletions came because the gamers neglected to migrate their accounts from old Mojang accounts to Microsoft accounts. After Microsoft purchased Mojang and naturally Minecraft, It announced that legacy Minecraft and Minecraft Java Edition owners would need to migrate their accounts to Microsoft accounts. Migration process began in October of 2020, was originally scheduled to be finished by March of 2022. Microsoft extended that cutoff date to September 19th of 2023. What happened to accounts that weren't migrated in time? According to Microsoft's webpage and emails to Mojang account holders, they would not be able to sign into Minecraft.net or the Minecraft launcher. Eventually, the accounts would be deleted. Even before deletion, though, Microsoft advised gamers it would be unable to continue account migration after September 19th of 2023. That date was declared as the final cutoff date, but many players claimed they were not notified. Microsoft wanted to get all Minecraft players onto its own servers for better security and access to new features. This means if you didn't migrate your account and want to start playing Minecraft again, you have to purchase a new license. This has many gamers understandably upset. Thousands have turned to Reddit to express their outrage, including one who insists they'll just pirate every Minefield game from now on, along with the upcoming Starfield game expansion and Elder Scrolls Minefield game. Am I tripping? Is this a misprint? Anyways, the angry Redditor wrote, the fact that they can just take away your license to the game like that is insane. It is. It absolutely is. This is why I'll never support DRMs. If a game has a DRM, you do not own it. Only a license to temporarily play it. I've had a similar experience. I can't talk this morning. I'm sorry. I've talked about it before. I bought Destiny 2 on release, and I bought a upgraded version to get, you know, a season pass DLC that was supposed to be coming out afterwards, stuff like that. And whenever Bungie had, I had not been playing. I was very busy with life. Bungie was switching out of being underneath the Blizzard platform, and I don't remember even seeing the emails. I think that I had them, you know, but it was a busy time in my life, and I didn't get it done. I didn't get the migration done. And while I take responsibility for the fact of I'm quite sure I got those emails, and it was, you know, my responsibility to do that, it still doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Exactly what's being stated right here. It doesn't feel good to spend an amount of money on something that you should own, and then to have it stripped away from you, you know. It's never going to feel good to a consumer. It's just not. And you know, then it's also from the standpoint of myself as a consumer of that product for Bungie. Then what do? They turn around and make the game free to play for everybody. It's like, Jesus Christ. Well, you know, that on the back end felt really bad too. It's like, why did I pay for this? You know. And then, you know, I can't even play on my account anymore that I had gotten my stuff on originally, because it's completely gone, you know. So I don't know, all in all, it did feel really bad, but I do take responsibility for an amount of it, and I think that you have to understand the business side of this a little bit as well, and you have to take responsibility for it. But if you didn't get an email, how are you supposed to know? And this is one of those things that I think, especially in-house, when you're talking in-house for Microsoft, when it was, I think, a little bit of a different situation when you're talking about Bungie and them switching servers because it was going out from underneath Blizzard, and you know, I think what at that point into maybe where I can't remember if they were hosting their own or underneath Sony or something like that. But with Microsoft, they literally own and you know, can manage the Mojang servers as well as what they're migrating to, which are their own servers, right? So if they really wanted to be nice to consumers here, they could, but it's a business thing too, because let's not get it twisted. This also gives developers and publishers the option, or the reasoning, excuse me, not the option, but the reasoning to purge accounts. Yeah. So while they're always going to give you a reason about things like, and I'm not discounting these notions, but they want you to switch for better security and access to new features and stuff, and I'm sure that's part of it. They also are going to benefit from the purge that happens here, right? There's going to be a massive purge of accounts and data and things that they don't have to manage and store and you know, have on their servers anymore for all these accounts that are not being transferred over, and that's a good thing for them. So don't get it twisted. It's not just for better security and access to new features for the consumers of the product. This benefits the business as well, right? They just don't want to talk about it like that. But this means if you didn't migrate your account and want to start playing Minecraft again, you have to purchase a new license. This has many gamers understandably upset. That's what we talked about. This post drew 1,100 comments before moderators locked the post. Comments locked because it's just a battle of this was an easy thing to do and you had plenty of warning. Crowd versus you should be able to keep the game no matter what if you paid for it. Crowd, the moderator wrote. Many of the commenters commiserated with the original poster, but seemingly just as many offered no sympathy. They pointed out the migration had been ongoing for years and that Microsoft gave more than 12 months notice of the looming deadline. I feel it on both fronts. I've been a victim of it. And but I've also, like I said, it was in large part my fault, right? But it doesn't negate the fact that you paid money for something that you should own and you don't own it anymore, right? And I think that's the most concerning part of it. We've gotten away from this whole realm of when gaming used to be mostly physical. The software used to be mostly physical copies, and it was and is nowadays, especially for PC, right? We're in this realm of everything being entirely digital, and even the console side of gaming is becoming more and more digital, right? And this is becoming a more concerning issue for us as consumers. How much do you really own? How much of it do you really own? If any of it. There's a lot of fine print out there about these libraries we all have, right? We've all most of us anyways, have paid exorbitant amounts of money for, and you, as a consumer, most of us view these products as things that we should still be able to manage the same way we did with physical copies. But these companies haven't set it up like that. And it is quite concerning most of the time when you hear about the ways that they can kind of just take away your access to the things that you've purchased. It's weird. And I think that's the biggest concerning part of this. There's a lot of work being done on the front of, approaching these kinds of notions and issues in a legal standpoint, and we're seeing how it's going to evolve, but it's kind of early on that front still, and we'll see how it continues to progress. But it's definitely got its issues, and it's kind of weird, man. It doesn't feel good when it happens, I'll say that. But I do, people have to understand they have to take some responsibility. If you got notification that you needed to do this and you didn't do it, it's kind of on you, right? It is. Valorant console players are being banned for using keyboard and mouse. I love it, dude. Dude. So here's what's funny. Let me just... Come on, man. So whenever we first heard that Valorant was coming to console, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be a flippin' just dumpster fire of... I can't imagine what Reddit's gonna be like for Valorant, dude, because you're gonna have the whole... mouse and keyboard versus controller debate, and you know, we don't have enough aim assist to compete with mouse and keyboard, and then mouse and keyboard's gonna go, well, your aim assist is OP, and you know what Riot did? Riot went, oh no, we're just not gonna let anybody cross platform. They're like, no, PC plays with PC, console plays with console. You know, I respect it. I mean, you know, it was one of those things where it was like, yeah, okay, I get it. But you had to know. You had to know that wasn't going to alleviate the issues of people playing Valorant still being able to use a keyboard and a mouse versus a controller, right? When it came to console. And so now we're running into this. And as much as I feel like Riot tried to just kind of navigate through that whole situation of not having to just address that obstacle that most shooters have had to address, you know, with doing cross-platform, and here they are, you know. So let's see what's going down. Valorant console players being banned for using keyboard and mouse. After years of waiting, console players will soon be able to play Riot Games' hit competitive FPS Valorant, and some have a chance to play early as the limited beta test launched on June 14th. PS5 and Xbox Series X players can jump into the game and finally experience one of the most popular games on PC. If you're a keyboard and mouse player, it might be time to invest in a PC because Riot Games wants you to use a controller, and you could face being banned for not using one. That's insane. See, they don't want to deal with it at all. As reported by Valorant News, keyboard and mouse players are being hit with a ban while playing the Valorant console beta. In a video posted on X, a player is seen being banned mid-game for using the input device, with a message stating that actions of an account playing on this device have violated player rules. PSA, if you plug a mouse and keyboard in to play Valorant console, you will get banned. Jesus Christ. Players participating in the Valorant console beta will be paired against other console users, but not PC, despite cross-progression being active and players being able to use their existing PC account to jump into the game on their preferred console platform. However, in the Valorant console beta guide, Riot states that keyboard and mouse are not supported, and attempts to use them on console, like spoofing, will result in a ban. Getting the old ban hammer. Valorant console is meant to be played with a controller. Here's the thing that sucks. It is unclear whether this will continue once the full game launches on console. The guide does mention the reason for players not being paired against PC users is because fair play is a cornerstone of competitive gaming. However, many competitive games such as Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Apex Legends allow for cross-platform with all devices, including PC, console, and mobile in some titles. As of right now, we're unsure whether this ban is permanent, but if you're planning on playing Valorant console, stick to the official PS5 or Xbox Series X controller, as Riot also offers no support for third-party controllers. Yeah. It feels, I cannot imagine, let me just start with it. Okay, I cannot imagine what it would be like from a development standpoint to be dealing with the just asinine issues of a player base going back and forth about the whole keyboard and mouse controller debate, dude. It's just got to be terribly mauding to deal with, and trying to balance that all the time and figure it out. But, dude, you know, the thing that's rough is you also want people to enjoy your game as a giving, you know, options. I talk about this a lot. A developer giving players options is I think a critical thing that developers have to look to do, catering to their audience and their consumer base. And when it comes to these kinds of things, and I know it's not as easy in a genre like this, but you want people to play on their peripheral preference, right? Their controller preference, their, you know, whatever it be, controller, keyboard, and mouse, whatever. Or it could be anything, even outside of that, that they're more comfortable on. Yeah. Now, obviously, a lot of what you try to prevent are devices that allow people to have an advantage. We've seen a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of third-party controllers are being banned out of being used on most platforms anymore because they've allowed gamers to have an advantage in many forms and fashions over just a default mouse and keyboard or a default controller for that matter. So obviously there are exceptions to this rule, but you know, you want people, no matter what platform they're playing on, to have options of their peripheral device as long as it's not altered or modified and giving an advantage, right? And I know I could see what Riot was doing. They were just trying to avoid it, man. They were just trying to avoid it. They didn't want to deal with the shenanigans. And I mean, I understand why, but it also feels a little bit bad, I've got to say. If you really want Valorant to be as prolific as these other high-profile shooter games, you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to get everybody playing together, and you're going to have to figure out how to best balance people using a keyboard and mouse and a controller together. That's what you have to do, you know? And maybe they're planning on doing that as we move forward. But right now, it doesn't. It looks like they're just trying to segregate everybody based on your controller preference, you know? Which feels weird. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will have first-person scenes and alternate stories. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's episode battle features sounds like it's worth experiencing. My son's gonna be so jacked for this game, dude. Soon to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero players already learned this week that the game will offer split-screen multiplayer, albeit with some caveats to make it possible. But in addition to that often requested feature, the Dragon Ball game will have additional modes outside of the normal online experience. Those include an episode battle mode akin to a story playthrough where you'll be able to relive different moments from the Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super stories. But these stories will look a bit different at times than players are used to. That's because players will have the option to take these stories in different directions through alternate routes, and in some cases they can even be seen through a first-person perspective. Interesting. The producer working on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, who talked about the split-screen mode, recently talked in the same video about the episode battle mode. Sparking Zero has tons of different characters from throughout Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, so of course not all of them can be featured in the episode battle modes as playable characters. Instead, the mode will focus on 8 different fighters, with Goku naturally getting the majority of the attention. But Vegeta, though, who cares about Goku? In this single-player mode, you can take the point of view of 8 different characters, including Goku and Vegeta, thank you, and enjoy famous battles from the anime. Some of the most iconic fights in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, Furutani said. For example, Goku has the largest number of stages, beginning from when he fights Raditz up to and including his fights in the Tournament of Power Saga. Let's watch this real quick. But Vegeta...
I guess we'll see. This will be when the true battle begins.
True power! You'll give it to 1,000,000 pieces, just like I did that earlier. You talking about thrilling? Don't you dare!
I always liked Majin Buu. I always thought he was a cool character.
The way you slice it, there's only one way to save Earth. Goodbye, my friends. No matter what it takes, I need to...
My son actually likes Cell a lot.
What? Ever forgive me for this? Now you will suffer my wrath. You are a prison boy. I will show you the true form of autonomous open. It's my turn now. Change everything. Let's do this. This is nothing in my I don't think you can win. There's no way.
Nice. October 11th. Let's go, dude. Sick.
皆さんこんにちは。ドラゴンボールスパーキングゼロのメインプロデューサーの古谷と申します。本日はよろしくお願いいたします。 先ほど皆様に見ていただいたの
So this is actually going to be a video explaining what we're reading right now. We've been reading. So if you want to watch the rest of it, then I'll link it to you. But we've read it. We don't necessarily need to watch it. While most of these will be played from third-person perspective, just as if you're watching the show, some parts will be shown in the first person instead. Yeah, cutscenes will allow players to experience parts of the story from a first-person perspective, which we will hope will allow players to further immerse themselves in the characters' experiences. It's really interesting. Yo, random mode time. Let's go. What a terrible one to start out the day. What is that, dude? Bro, we got Football Pass, or FB Pass, and WUB TF, dude. Let's go. Another feature highlighted was the option to change how the stories play out. One example shown was when Raditz invaded and Goku was presented with the option to either bring Piccolo with him to confront the Saiyan, or he could go it alone. Unclear just how many of these options players will have and how greatly they'll affect the game's stories. Very cool, man. Yeah, these Dragon Ball games are traditionally pretty solid, so pretty neat. If you want to watch the rest of that video, here's the link to it, guys. Yeah. And lastly, for our news segment this morning, we've got Yacht Club Games reveals new Shovel Knight updates, including a brand new game. Yacht Club Games hosted its own direct style presentation today, primarily to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Shovel Knight. As such, the event featured various Shovel Knight related announcements, including the reveal of a brand new game. This new Shovel Knight game has no title and was not shown, but Yacht Club confirmed it's in development. Also hinted that various clues about the nature of this title can be found in other Shovel Knight games, such as Shovel Knight Dig, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, and Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. The studio also states we're committed to crafting an experience that not only honors the Shovel Knight legacy, but also pioneers groundbreaking, innovative gameplay mechanics. This isn't just another sequel, it's a bold new adventure that will launch Shovel Knight into an entirely new dimension of gaming. We'll have to wait to see what this new game is, but the studio did reveal an enhanced version of the original game called Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX. Essentially the definitive edition of the 2014 indie classic, featuring 20 new playable characters, a rewind function, save states, online multiplayer cheats, and more. Shovel of Hope DX has no release window or announced platforms. We'll watch this trailer real quick. Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope. DX. He's a knight. He's a shovel. I'm not a fan of the rewind function in games, dude. Like, I see it all the time nowadays. It's just something I don't really. I just don't. Feels weird. Looks good. Looks fun. Yacht Club also provided an update for Mina the Hollower, its upcoming action-adventure game. A new trailer offers a montage of gameplay, and Yacht Club states the project is nearing completion of the initial pass on all level content. Plans to spend the next few months polishing and refining gameplay. Yacht Club reveals the game has grown larger than expected since its reveal in 2022. Now features an expansive overworld and RPG elements. Studio says to expect a big gameplay reveal in the near future. What up, bro? Saturday, man. What's going on? And now they're going to do a little bit more talking about that game, too. So, there you go. Cool stuff, man. Nice, nice. Word up. Good times, man. That's the news, my dudes. That's it. That's it for today for the news. And until tomorrow. Yeah. Appreciate it, everybody. We're going to play games for the rest of the day. Yay. I might not be playing games tomorrow. Be prepared for that. Tomorrow's Father's Day. And I might just do the news and call it after that. Because I think we're going to be doing some stuff as a family. Hanging out with my kids, my wife, and everything. You know, letting them pamper me. Alright, so I didn't really think about it before, but we were kind of talking, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow morning I'll probably get up, we'll do the news together, and that'll probably be it. So we'll do video gaming news, but probably no gaming content, okay? So just be prepared for that, and hopefully everybody understands, but it's just one of those things. Spend some extra time with wife and kids to celebrate Father's Day, okay? But appreciate everybody being here for this video gaming news segment, man. We're going to go play games for the rest of the day. You know, maybe some Ghost of Tsushima, maybe some X-Defiant, maybe both. We'll talk about it in a moment. We'll find out. We'll see what everybody wants to do. Yeah. But it's been a great news segment. As always, I appreciate it. If anybody's hanging out and you're not familiar with what we do on the constant, this is the way we start off all of our streams. 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday. We begin at 6 a.m. CST, CDT. That is 7 a.m. Eastern. What is that? 7, about 1 o'clock? No, 7. Yeah, like 1 BST, something like that, I think. I need to get my time zones down. And 4 a.m. Pacific time, where we begin with video gaming news every day. Then we go play games afterwards, and like we're about to do, have a great time together. We got an awesome community, amazing people, having a good time, just trying to take care of one another, have, you know, legitimate friendships and spread good vibes, you know, take care of one another and be void of negativity and toxicity and stuff like that, and just have a great place to come hang out and for people to feel welcome and safe and enjoy the world of video games and enjoy each other's company, man. So if you can dig that and you're about spreading good vibes, come be a part of it, man. Cool. Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. I'm going to run us an outro real quick, but I'm not going anywhere. As soon as it's over, I will be back up here and we will start figuring out what we're going to play today for games, okay? You guys rock. You look amazing today, by the way. I'll be right back.